How's it going? Hey, I just wanted to try something out a little bit different. I want to do a mini series on work and work related. I've had a lot of jobs, so I have many posts and many observations that I can bring to the table. The first, start off with your first job. This was my first job. I actually got the job from my father's golfing buddy, who also went to our church a little bit. He wasn't there all the time. My family had me there all the time. I knew his son too. So I really didn't have an interview. I didn't have anything like that. It was my first job. It was at a chicken place. And at the time, the chicken place was, the guy was a hippie. All right, my dad's friend. He was a big hippie. And the business, he pretty much tie-dyed the whole building. It was kind of weird looking back on it, but at the same time it's great. I loved it there. My first job, like hippie land, yeah. But at the same time, I live in Albany, Georgia, so it's kind of switched. Most of America has the majority being white. In Albany, Georgia, the majority of the people are black, which I have no problem with. I try to get along with everybody, and I really do try to be friends with everybody. Now that I'm older, I am a little bit standoffish just because, but at the root of it, I still value those things. I was the only white guy that worked there other than the owner and the owner's son, which didn't bother me. At all. Like I said, I try to be friends with everybody. At the same time, it kind of trips me out the way people are these days, like especially the younger people, like that don't have the millennials, I guess you'd call them. What is wrong with y'all? You know what I mean? They look at me like I'm Ace Ventura, like the white devil motherfucker. Like I'm walking around like just trying to ruin their day and all this other shit. And I'm like, where do you get this hatred from? I mean, I understand where they get it from, but at the same time, I'm old enough to realize that it's misplaced. They're just being told to hate. They don't have any actual. You know what I mean? Alright, I'll give you an example. Well, this is the same job, alright? I was working at this job. The second time I worked there twice. The first time, then I went to another job, then I came back to this job. And so I'm kind of counting it as one, my first job as one, because there wasn't anything that changed between the two things. But anyways, I had a situation where a guy, a black guy, he refused to take the drink that I made for him. I've talked to people about this before, and they said they kind of made it clear that there could be a number of reasons. The fact that I'm a guy, he just wanted a girl to make his drink for him. There's none. I don't know what's in somebody else's head, so I'm not going to go there. But that's the impression. It did hurt my feelings at the time, and that was the impression that I got at that moment, that it was because of my skin color. So it kind of makes me feel like it goes both ways. Like in life, with that, it goes both ways. So what I did there, since it's job oriented, I'm trying to just talk about jobs and what I did there. It was my first job, so I washed dishes, prepped the chicken, prepped whatever else. We also sold fish, lots of different types of fish, change out the ice, change out the water, rinse out, keep it clean. Actually, that's where I actually got the taste for chicken livers. Before I'm like the one guy in the world that likes chicken. I'm not, but you know what I mean. Like, it's tasty. I like it better than chicken gizzards. Too chewy. I don't like to sit there and chew on something for like 10 minutes and finally be done with it. Like, it's too much. Later on, I started cooking, and they had some younger guys come in and do the stuff that I was doing. Washing dishes, stuff like that. I also, the second time I came back around, he said he only had front of the house stuff, which would be taking orders, doing the drive-through, that kind of thing, which is what led to the incident that I described before. But at the same time, all right. So that's my job portion. You know, there's not really anything else to explain about the job because, like I said, my father got me the job, so I didn't really have a lot. I could kind of get away with a lot of stuff, you know, since I was real tight with the owner and good friends with his son, and I always try to be friendly with everybody that worked there, so it was kind of easy kind of thing, you know. So I want to switch it up, and this is a different segment towards this thing. I'm going to call this segment the cast of people that I worked with, and just have little clippets of stories that go along with the different types of people that I worked with. For example, I worked with a guy that he was a older guy, had kids. His kids actually came to the job and worked with me, so I got to meet his kids and all that stuff. Like they were my age, so at the time, you know, I'm like 17 at the time, so I was like, well, you know. Anyways, he was older. He was a boxer from Philly. Oh, he used to box in Philly. You know, cool guy. I tried to get him to teach me how to box. You know, I eventually was just like, I put $1 down, you know, and I'd be like, all right, you put $1 down, and who hits who first gets the. I always got hit. Like no way around it. He always, you know, like the strength that he put behind it varied, but you know, one time he did actually hit me pretty good. It was like, bah, and I was like, oh fuck. I had a lady. This is the first time I seen something like this. I had a lady come through. She had a baby, and like the baby's first word was the F word. And she was proud of it. She would like show everybody, make a joke of it, that kind of thing. And at the time I was young, so it kind of blew my mind. But at the same time I was like, well, meh. Yeah, I could kind of see it. You know? That kid, right now, that kid's probably like 14 years old. Just that's his favorite word, I imagine. You know. Actually, this was the first time I had a. This was kind of a weird situation. There's a black girl that was working up front. I straight up said this shit, like, just straight up said it. I was just like, hey, you gonna go fuck after work kind of thing, you know what I'm saying? Like, I straight up said it, and she actually was like, yeah, alright. Shit. But I actually never went through with it. I was young at the time, nervous, you know what I mean? I played it off, and we actually went and smoked some, and that's all that came of that. Older me wants to kick my, you know what I mean? Like, fuck, you know. Older me would not have a problem at all. Serious face. You know what I'm saying? I kick myself these days. I mean, I think that's the way women are, you know. They sense that about you. Like these days, I couldn't find worth nothing, you know, because they know that's what I'm after, that's what I want. As opposed to back then, I was young, nervous, scared, kind of thing, and I didn't know what I wanted, so they could sense that, so they liked that, as opposed to the guy who they knew was just all about that. Had a dude steal my. He didn't steal it. I gave it to him. I said, all right, I'll sell you these speakers for $30. So I gave it to him. We worked together. So I didn't think much of it. I was like, well, we worked together. I didn't think it shouldn't be that big a deal. Never paid me. Never paid me at all. Just took the speakers, started dodging me at work. I'm like, you're a grown-ass man. I'm a teenager. Why the fuck are you trying to dodge me over $30 for some speakers that I gave you? Like, really? I finally just gave up. I was like, forget it. I don't care. You know what I mean? And then the boss's son and all the guys around my age, we'd go out and play pool. It was fun. You know, I had fun. that was my first experience playing pool. I'm a big pool enthusiast these days, you know. Anyways, that was my first job. Just letting y'all hear about it. Call this the job hustle. Is what I'm thinking about calling the series. This is installment 1. If y'all like, whatever. I don't think this is getting anywhere. So see ya.